And once again, happy Labor Day because it is actually Labor Day. Thank you for coming back to checking out the Grade A Flicks channel for another episode of Grade A Fantasy. Here to preview Week 1 tight ends and defenses. Once again, I hope you all like the content that's been dropping consistently. I'm trying to pretty much get the Week 1 thing done this weekend, like I mentioned before. Unless like there's news of contracts and people getting injured in their last few days of practice before teams, well, whoever the road teams are, have to start at least traveling by like Thursday or Friday so they can do their final walkthrough Saturday. Everything should be pretty much set and good to go. So before I jump into the tight end section, let me just once again say, if you do feel interested in getting into a little weekly private room fun, whoa, that sounds a little kinky. But anyway, if you do feel like joining a little private league, once again, it's $10 a week, has a decent amount of members. Hopefully I can get it up to 20 people. I think that's normally the max when you're holding like a room by itself. I've been in a couple leagues myself, but this is something that's run by me. Grade A Fantasy, Legends of DFS. I might have to redo the league and delete it and then continue another league or whatever. But if you are interested, please drop your FanDuel name in the comment section below, and I would love to have you join our league. Once again, it's $10 a week, winner take all. As the league gets bigger, I'll try to do first and second place prizes. But as of right now, since it's a small league, winner takes all, $10 a week. Of course, FanDuel takes their cut. So we should be good to go on that. Let's start the preview with the tight ends. Oh, and before we do that, also, please check out the channel. Please click on the channel name Grade A Flicks. You will see the other videos that I have come out with. Once again, before this tight end, defensive special teams has come out. Wide receivers have been gone over. Running backs, quarterbacks were done last week. There was news to pay attention to, fantasy news that makes it essential for the DFS. Please click and check out those episodes as well. I should maybe put a link in the channel as I record this or whatever, so those videos get some traffic as well. But let's get on to the tight ends. Tight ends, I think for this week, it could be interesting. I'm going to make it interesting for you guys because I do have somebody that nobody's talking about at all. And it does pretty much make a lot of sense. So what we have here with the tight ends, I think the tight ends is probably the most dullest position in the league. It depends on if you're going to pay down, who are you going to pay down for? Because we already know who the main guys are. Like I said, no Kelsey, no Andrews. But once again, as I like to bring up all the time, knowing when there's Kelsey and Andrews, and maybe one of them are on a bye week, there is a significant drop-off from the top tight end paying $8,000, where you could save $1,200 to go to Dalton Kincaid. He's personally my favorite tight end of the week. A close second would be Evan Ingram, a little bit lower at 62. A lot of people seem to be around this range when it comes to considering paying down for somebody who has a high ceiling. But like I said, tight end seems simple, but it's still a bit tricky because the minute you pay down at tight end, let's be real, if you pay down under these guys here and the minute you go under Ingram, I think you're looking at your lineup already being different. Like I said, McBride, once I spoke about the Cardinals receivers, I think McBride's in a great spot. Arizona should be down in that game, regardless of not if they're down in that game or not. He's a big part of that offense, so he should be looking at a lot of opportunities. Kyle Pitts, once again, everybody's excited to play anybody at Atlanta with the new coaching staff. Plus, this is Kyle Pitts' best receiver that he's played with in his short 3-year career. Evan Ingram had a solid year last year. The only thing that needs to change with Evan Ingram is the fact that he just needs more touchdown looks. So that's it. Or more end zone looks. That's the only thing. As you can see here, he can go weeks at a time. He's productive and he gets traffic, but he can go weeks at a time without a touchdown. As you can see there, in the January 1st, when the new year started, won. Didn't have a touchdown until December 10th. Had 2. Had a blow-up game that time. Week before had 1. And then after that, that's what I'm talking about there. You see those zeros over there. Constant zeros. So, Evan Ingram. Volume, yes. But can he get the touchdown? A lot of people say yes because the wide receiver core is pretty much the same. All they did was get rid of Calvin Ridley. So that's one less receiving mouth to feed. That's why a lot of people have That's why a lot of people have Evan Ingram having an even great year, possible Pro Bowl year. If those touchdowns goes up, Evan Ingram can make the Pro Bowl. As you keep going down, like I said, Jake Ferguson in a tough matchup, Njoku in a tough matchup, Hawkinson hurt. Once you start going here, you're automatically different from everybody else, and this is like Millie GPP kind of moves from here on out. What I'm giving you here. What do I like here? Dalton Schultz. Why? Because everybody else is going to be focusing on the new wide receiver core with Diggs, Collins, and Tank Dell. You stack. If you stack CJ Stroud and put Dalton Schultz in your stack, that's making you way different, especially if Schultz can get some inside the 20, inside the 10 goal line looks. Taysom Hill, you already know him being a gadget. It's one of those things that you feel out as the season goes. So if you somehow pick Taysom Hill and he can get 2 goal line looks, you're automatically overlapping the field because it's something to be wary, but he's not being, targeted like that. Cade Otton, a lot of people like picking Cade Otton. That's like paying down. Because, like I said, once you pay down under Evan Ingram, let's be real. Once you pay down under Evan Ingram at 62, you're getting different from everybody else. Because all these tight ends here are going to have a lot of ownership. It's going to be divided up pretty much amongst them. Everybody else here that I'm naming you, you're getting these guys at like maybe 5.7% or whatever the case is. And of course, if you want to fit some other studs in there, you might need to pay down on defense. Might need to look at some of my wide receiver value that I was talking about. And you might need to pay down at tight end and have studs at quarterback, both running back positions, at least 2 wide receiver positions, and you might be able to afford a nice flex at like 6 in the 6,000 range or whatever. But paying down that tight end this week makes you very different. Of course, you have Pat Fryermuth playing with Russell Wilson. Like I said, the check down king. Like I said, his check down rate has just blown up to almost 13%. A lot of people like Cade Otton because, like I said, the Washington defense is not good at covering the tight end. Here's another GPP play. I think it's good to probably at least take some shots at him. Why? Once again, Cole Kmet is a tight end surrounded in the offense with new weapon. You already got DJ Moore, and guess what? You have you have the new rookie Roma Dunze, and then of course you have the new toy in Keenan Allen. Now, the question is, does Caleb focus or throw some focus to Kmet? I think you're more comfortable with Kmet if you still had Cole Kmet with Justin Fields. Because Justin Fields, it was Moore first, Kmet second, and then everybody else fed off whatever scraps was left. So, definitely a GPP play there. If we keep going down, I'm going to talk about a guy that absolutely nobody's talking about. You see Tyler Higbee right there, injured. He had that ACL tear in last year's playoff. He will be ready no time soon. So we will get to that game. Once again, not only is it the last game, and you'll most likely be one of the few people with him in your contest, but that Rams-Detroit game is going to play big in fantasy, being the fact that by the time that game starts, no other game will be on, and only points from that game will matter. I like Tennessee here. I like Chikakongwo. He has his weeks where he could get his goal line looks and get his 4 to 6 targets. Hayden Hurst for Los Angeles. Like I said, that entire wide receiver core is completely different. Dawson Knox. A lot of people are liking Zach Ertz. I feel a lot of people like Zach Ertz because the name is still familiar. But Tampa Bay is bad at, once again, guarding the slot. And when the tight end splits out, where does the tight end go? Yes, it's in the slot. Zach Ertz does not have that speed, so you know how sometimes you put a tight end all the way out in a wide receiver position. So Zach Ertz can attack Washington. A lot of people are talking about Zach Ertz as a nice paydown option. I got somebody that's a decent paydown option. I like to talk about Juwan Johnson. Even though Carolina's defense is very good against the tight end, he didn't do much against them last year, but it's still an option. Like I said, 47, a goal line look. I think you'll be happy with a couple of catches, a couple of targets and a couple of catches. If he could go like 3 for 47, 2 for 27 with a touchdown, I think you're happy with that at 47. But here, as we keep going down, this is the guy that you need to pay attention to. Kobe Parkinson signed a 3-year, $22.5 million deal. Private contract that nobody's paying attention to. But Higbee is hurt. And Higbee is a big part of the offense. They use Tyler Higbee. Kobe Parkinson will be starting against the Detroit Lions. And against the Detroit Lions, they're one of the worst teams against. Like I said, it's a bend don't break defense, and they need to make big plays. It's not a shutdown defense. Detroit at home, I like Detroit's defense at home. They play better at home. But Kobe Parkinson is going to get all those tight end snaps. Whoever's behind him is going to be coming in and relieving him. Kobe Parkinson is the new Tyler Higbee. Tyler Higbee is a big target for Matthew Stafford and he will be getting the goal line looks. If I go back up here and look at how Matthew Stafford likes to use Tyler Higbee, yes, he got hurt in that Detroit game. There goes the Giants game. 7 targets for 6 or 7. 3 targets, 5 targets, 4 targets, 5 targets. A couple of low ones. Then you got 7 targets here. You got 11 targets there. He is a part of the offense. So that's basically Kobe. That is basically what Kobe will be doing. Kobe Parkinson will be doing. He will be tremendously alone. Nobody's talking about it. I'm probably the first YouTuber to actually bring up his name. If you're looking to be different, once again, paying down under Ingram, you're going to be tremendously different. Tremendously different. You go down this low, especially in the last game of the season, and he can get some goal line looks, and the rest of your lineup does well, and he can get that touchdown, he's going to shoot you all the way up. Kobe Parkinson is my favorite lottery ticket when it comes to week 1 tight ends. So pay attention to that. Tyler Higbee's not there. He's a big part of that offense. Kobe Parkinson, you don't give nobody 3 years, $22 million. Hey, could you have given him that contract just for the fact that you know it's going to take mostly the whole year for Higbee to come back? Because he got hurt in the wild card round, okay? So up to this point, you're looking at it's basically, 7 months later, 7 to 8 months later since the injury. He's not ready yet. He's not. So look for Kobe Parkinson to be that guy. Like I said, and you are saving a ton of money. Kobe Parkinson is he's cheaper than Zach. A lot of people think Zach Ertz the guy to go all the way down to get different who has opportunity. Well, saving $100 more goes a long way. Like I said, after this, I don't think you go nowhere else. Like I said, Gerald Everett, like I said, the Los Angeles Chargers, the entire wide receiver core is gone. He's now the tight end on Chicago, but guess what? He's going to back up Cole Kmet, so he's not an option. I like Kobe Parkinson. Kobe Parkinson is that guy. I'm trying to find you guys some gems here. And Kobe Parkinson, when it comes to the research, when you look at the roster, a low-owned person playing the last game, and you could possibly have him under 3% possibly. Yeah, hell yeah. Tight end is pretty dope. After those top 6 guys, it's on you if you want to go lower than 6,200 Evan Ingram. But Kobe Parkinson is somebody that I will be throwing some targets at. He will be in a few lineups, without a doubt. And once again, when you throw a lottery ticket like that, that's going to be the man at tight end. Guess what? 4,700. He doesn't even need to catch a touchdown. If he can get one of those Tyler Higbee games where he gets 4 to 7 targets and get 4 to 7 targets and maybe have 5 to 6 receptions and have a regular game of 47 yards, 50-something yards, yeah, it's not something that's going to win you anything. But for somebody's, if you perform like that in a cash game and you're able to save money and have some other big guns go off, he is useful. He has the upside to get the goal line looks and maybe have a 1 touchdown, 2 touchdown game in the goal line. Possibly. But Kobe Parkinson is somebody y'all should at least take note of. And don't forget that name. As we scroll back up here, we're going to head to the defenses, and this will be the end of the week 1 review. Let's take a look at what we got here. Now, once again, there's those obvious picks. Minnesota against Daniel Jones. They're on the roll, but once again, Daniel Jones is very turnover prone. Respectfully, I understand why the Vikings are 5,000. This is what happens when you release schedules early. I don't think Tampa Bay should be the second best defense. I think it should be the Cincinnati Bengals. Once again, that secondary suspect and Shaq Barrett retired. I understand people like to see the prices early, but this is why I wish DraftKings, but then we need to take advantage of these kind of opportunities. I think DraftKings and FanDuel wouldn't hurt them to wait to drop to like mid-August. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, even though against a rookie Washington defense, I personally don't think they should be the second defense. I think the second defense should be Cincinnati, and Tampa Bay should drop at least a little bit, maybe under Buffalo, and then it should be Dallas and everybody else. Not saying that they shouldn't be 4,000. I just don't think Tampa Bay merits the fact of being 4,900. Once again, defense is pretty thin, and to me, To me, their best linebacker just up and retired or whatever. So that's how you have it there. Cincinnati at home against rebuilding New England. That's self-explanatory right there. New Orleans at home. New Orleans is one of those teams. Like I said, I put them in a group of three. Not the best defense, but teams like New Orleans, Seattle, and there's somebody else that I also say New Orleans, Seattle, and there's somebody else that I say the same thing about. I'm trying to find them right here, but they're just defenses that just perform better at home, or is it really just those two? Oh no, Detroit. Those are the teams that I totally understand. Then of course with their matchup, you understand why they're that high. Carolina's offense still has struggles. Carolina still has their struggles, but we'll see where it goes from there. Buffalo, I totally understand. Being 46, I got no problem with that. They have some injuries. They did lose some people during the preseason. Maybe that dings them up. I think Arizona will be in full pass mode second half. Second half touchdowns will chip into their performance. Dallas has a good opportunity to turn over a iffy, somewhat not consistent Deshaun Watson. Once again, Seattle against the Denver rookie. Like I said, Seattle's one of those defenses at home that has the ability to break a slate if they can turn over Bo Nix. If we come down to here, Cleveland is interesting against Dak Prescott because that Cleveland defense is pretty solid. I do like Chicago's defense being a home defense at home. That's kind of redundant. Being a defense at home against Will Levis. They improved slightly in the front seven, even though they still need to improve in the back four. But Chicago is definitely an interesting play. But after that, once you get there, here are the interesting plays. Los Angeles. I do not like their back four, which is why I'm very heavy on Devontae Adams. But if Bosa and the rest of that front seven can attack and pressure Minshew into some turnovers, Los Angeles is a pretty good mid-level play at 4,000. And within that same game, the Raiders had a strong, led by Antonio Pierce, the Raiders had a very, very strong finish to the season. As you can see here, they gave up one. They only had 1 point against Indianapolis, but they couldn't really do much. As you can see, in those last weeks, they didn't let up no more than 23 points. But it was just one game. They couldn't generate no sacks, no turnovers, no forced fumbles. But a 12, 25, 21, and an 8. Second year, Antonio Pierce with the scheme that they got. And like I said, it's a pretty good front four that the Raiders do have. They can promote some pressure and hopefully get... We'll have to see what Harbaugh and that new wide receiver core has to put up. It's a decent test, not the hardest test. But I think the Raiders are a nice pick. I guess you could feel comfortable with the Giants being at home, and it is Sam Darnold. That is somebody to take a look at. But if we keep going down here, I already told you, guys, and now it's confirmed that they got Russell Wilson. He holds the ball, Judon coming over the edge, strip, sack, fumble. I think there's going to be a couple of those. His former teammate Justin Simmons is probably going to ball hawk over the middle. If you didn't see this video, please check out my channel. I went over why I felt that they're the best cheap option. I understand, some people like the whole, I don't like paying much for defense, so I'm looking for what's the best 3,200, 3,300, 3,400 option. I don't think you have that this week. I really don't. Like I said, if anything, you might go as far as Denver because I don't really like Washington's defense against Tampa Bay. Not at all. The Rams, no. Carolina, they could, if anything, that's somewhat of a risk because, like I said, Carolina's defense did start playing well towards the end of last season. Like I said, they didn't generate much. I think, that's 7 sacks in the last, 4 weeks, points-wise, but against New Orleans, they were pretty much okay. They played New Orleans tough. They just didn't generate anything. In one game, they scored 22. Early in the season, they scored a 7. So that's basically a 2x. Like I said, Derek Carr and that offense is not the most efficient. It has inefficiencies, but I mean that's taking a risk there. Like I said, Carolina on the road. But like I said, I personally don't see myself. I'll try to pay down elsewhere, but I really don't see myself personally. Once again, paying no lower than 3,600 this week. I don't really like anything else below that. Like I said, if I want to try something different as a lottery ticket, I'll possibly go Carolina, 3,200. Because like I said, they do play the Saints tough, but like I said, it's all about that Atlanta defense being at home. Like I said, just the nature and the environment that they're going to be in. New quarterback. The fans are going to be excited that they have all this young talent with a good quarterback. They did some things to ensure the defense. I like Atlanta. They are absolutely, not only are they my favorite cheap play, but they're my favorite play, period. I understand people are going to go after Daniel Jones, and respectfully, but I could get the same kind of result going after Russell Wilson and save $1,400. So once again, like I said, you check out the channel on why I'm talking about the Atlanta defense. Check out the episode. It's on my channel. Atlanta's the best cheap defense you can pick. Minnesota is basically the same situation. They just cost more. Daniel Jones and Russell Wilson, the way they've played the last 2 years, they're pretty much both in the same. Pretty much it. One hold. Daniel Jones will force bad throws. Russell Wilson holds the ball longer, so that's better room for strip sack fumbles. So that's pretty much it. And week 1 is done. Once again, please like and subscribe. I hope you liked the episode. And you won't hear from me for the next 2 or 3 days because I have a good episode coming up. It'll be for one of these pick'em sites. You will see it when it comes out. I have a plan coming up for the channel, a new segment. In a way, it's not a new segment. It's kind of the same segment, just different sites. But stay tuned for that. And like I said, the pick'em videos definitely seem to do real well. But once again, thank you for tuning in for this episode. This is Grade A Fantasy on the Grade A Flex channel. Good luck. We are finally here. I will not be doing any reviews because I will not be playing either of the single games on Thursday or Friday. Once again, you will see me Thursday. I took some time off work, some well-deserved time. Didn't really take much time over the summer, so why not take the time to do some football research and finish up episode. The next episode that I will be doing will be Thursday. I'm going to try to drop the episode right around the time opening kickoff starts for the Thursday night game, and we will go from there. Once again, this is Grade A Fantasy on the Grade A Flex channel. Thank you once again. Have a safe and wonderful Labor Day weekend. Once again, thank you for the support. Please like, share the video, let people know what's going on. And I'm signing off.